I am joined by the acting executive chairman of Kebbi State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Hassan Umar, for discussion on the out-of-school children time bomb. Thank you so much for joining us, Alaji.
Thank you for having me.
Right. So whatever numbers one looks at, the reality is that Nigeria has one of the highest out-of-school children in the world. So access to education in Nigeria, how will you rate it?
Well, the menace of out-of-school children is still on the high side, and all efforts by countries to see that there is a reduction in the number of out-of-school children. There are lots of efforts going on, but it's a major challenge that, like you said, it is a global challenge to the education sector because it is what World Bank and UNESCO Institute of Statistics called learning poverty. Learning poverty is a situation whereby a child aged 10 is not able to read and write. If that child is in school, then that child is said to have learning deprivation. And if the child is out of school, then that child is said to have schooling deprivation. Therefore, it's a global challenge because about 52% of children in low and medium income countries are suffering from this learning poverty, while in sub-Saharan Africa, about 86% of children are also in this category. So Nigeria, as you rightly pointed out, is part of the African countries that are suffering from this menace, and efforts are being made geared towards ameliorating this problem. In Nigeria, there was this program we call Better Education Service Delivery, sponsored by World Bank. The aim of that program is to make sure that children that are roaming the streets are brought back to school, and it has taken place in about 17 states. Kebbi State, for example, my state is one of the states that participated in the program. We were able to bring about 790,500 out-of-school children in the category of Almajiris, girl child, and nomad children. We were able to put them in what we call a basic literacy program in non-formal learning centers, and they have graduated. About 70% of them has been streamed into the main education sector, whereas the remaining 30% will now be engaged in post-basic literacy program, which we are currently planning. So these are some of the challenges of the out-of-school children and the learning poverty. As a whole, it is a problem which is deeply in the development of basic education in the country.
So, outrageous numbers out there. UNESCO puts the number at approximately 20 million. Annex says 10 million. So, apart from poverty, like you mentioned, what other factors are responsible for this?
Now, a lot of factors are responsible. Just like you said, yeah, there are some barriers. Poverty is one of them, and traditional beliefs is also part of them. But the most important factor is that of poverty and lack of awareness of the importance of education. That is why most of the children are not in school. You will see that most of the children are hawking. For example, we see girl child. Instead of them being in school, they are hawking in the streets. They are trying to get to have ends meet. So it is largely a problem of poverty and also the non-impact of the education. Because some parents will say they will not send their children to school because they have not seen the impact of schooling on their children. So these are some of the issues and problems as regards out of school children.
Alaji, many analysts have described this menace as a time bomb. What's the implication for the country?
The implication is that if the children are not out of school, they are not in school, that means they will constitute a menace to the society and to the country. This issue of banditry, kidnapping, and what have you that we are having in this country is a product of these out of school children. So if you left children to wallow around, not being in school, then they will become a threat to the society. Therefore, it's a time bomb, and the earlier we come up with solutions to the problem, the better for the country. That's why in Kebbi State, under the able leadership of His Excellency Dr. Nasser Idris Orangolu, were able to apply a rapid framework approach developed by UNICEF and World Bank in order to remedy this problem. Like that, for example, the rapid approach are reach out to every child and keep them in school. Then A, assess learning levels regularly. Then B, prioritize teaching the fundamentals. I, increase the efficiency of instruction. And D, develop social health and well-being. Now, this is the policy framework developed by World Bank and UNESCO for countries to be able to recover the learning losses and increase the efficiency of learning. And in Kebbi State, we are adopting all these measures because we have reached out to all the children that are out of school in the category of the girl child, the almajiris, and the nomad children, and we were able to engage them in a non-formal learning setup for 9 months, whereby they get what we call basic literacy, and we were able to mainstream them into the formal schools. They are now enrolled in schools doing their primary level of education. Some of them also that were not able to pass the prescribed examinations will now take them into a post-literacy program where they are going to also learn skills that will make them to be self-reliant and contribute positively to society. A lot of work is also being put in place in terms of mobilization of parents and creating awareness for them to be able to send their children to schools and to keep them in schools. Another area we are emphasizing on in Kebbi State is the area of quality of teaching and learning. Because even if a child is in school, if there is no qualitative teaching and learning that will produce the results for the child, that child will not be in school. Therefore, when you provide access, you also have to provide quality. So we are taking these two bold steps. We're providing access and we're equally providing quality. And that was why His Excellency Dr. Nasir Idris Karongundu, the governor of my state, graciously approved the release of 2.4 billion naira for providing conducive learning environment, for providing access to all these out of school children that have now been mainstreamed into the formal sector. Because they have been mainstreamed and they now have to provide it with accommodation, classroom accommodation for them to be accommodated in our public schools. And we are also working on the quality. Issues of quality relate to the issue of the quality of teachers professional development, training and retraining of teachers, teacher support mechanisms. How we support teachers to ensure that what they are doing in the classroom is really yielding a result, that there is qualitative, child-centered approach going on in the classroom, and the teachers are being supported and mentored for them to be able to give in their best. So we are doing that in order to improve the quality, because access and the quality are two basic ingredients that you need to provide if you want to provide qualitative education and if you want children to enroll in schools.
All right. Thank you so much, Alhaji. This is a conversation we will continue some other time. I've been speaking with the acting executive chairman of Kebbi State Universal Basic Education Board, Subeb Hassan Umar. Thank you so much for coming on Politics Tonight. Have a focus on the out-of-school children time bomb. Thank you so much, Alhaji.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for watching. That marks the end of today's episode of Politics Tonight. But the conversation continues from here. Get in touch with us on Twitter at TVC News NG and at Olajumoke using the hashtag Politics Tonight. We're also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. I am Olajumoke Olatuji. See you tomorrow. Thank you.